Top 10 Most Feared Military Aircraft of All Time. Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. Aircraft can be so deadly, especially the military ones. There are so many military aircraft that were made before or still exist. So today we have compiled a list of all the deadliest aircraft most feared. So without further ado, let's get into the video. At number 10, we have the Hawker Hurricane. This is a single-seat fighter aircraft and is manufactured by Hawker Aircraft. The plane dates back to the 1930s and the 1940s. In the early stages of World War II, this plane held the key to operations in most cases. The plane, along with Supermarine Spitfire and the defense of Malta, had won most of the fights and had the most operation success rate. The manufacturers wanted to build a monoplane fighter with high-performance features, and while it was being developed, the Air Ministry had declared that there had to be 8 wing-mounted 7.7mm machine guns. The plane has a horsepower of 1,200 and has 12-cylinder inline Rolls-Royce engines. It has retractable gears and a low-wing monoplane. The plane has impressively clean lines and heavy armament. The plane's design is pretty much conventional. At first, the fuselage, tail surfaces, and wings were covered in fabric. However, the plane was then covered with aluminum instead after some time. Now moving on to number 9 is U-2. This is a single-seat jet aircraft that the United States flew. This plane's main agenda was to gather all the intelligence and data needed in the war. This spy plane was also called the Dragon Lady and is still in service. In the 1960s, the plane captured pictures near Cuba which confirmed that Soviet nuclear missiles were present. Since the Vietnam War, this plane has been widely used for battlefields reconnaissance as well as for surveillance numerous times. Most of the services of these planes are now adapted by high-altitude, long-endurance, uncrewed aerial vehicles. The planes have even been used by NASA. The aircraft at number 8 is the F-22 Raptor stealth fighter. We designed this plane to take down the best of the fighters of the Soviet Union. At that point in time, it was considered really fast at a maximum speed of 755 km per hour, taking afterburners and altitude into account. The best part of the plane is how maneuverable it is. One of the battle accounts says that the plane had intercepted the Iranian F-4 Phantom near Iran, and the plane could actually visually inspect the plane and tell where the weapon loadout was. The best part is that the Iranian pilot could not even register that F-22 was in the area. Next up at number 7 is B-52. It is a long-range heavy bomber plane that the Boeing company manufactures. This was supposed to be an atomic bomb carrier that would be competent enough to reach the Soviet Union. The plane is largely adaptable to numerous missions. The plane was built in 1950s, but it is expected that it still is in there for use in the 21st century. The wingspan of the plane is 56 meters. The length of the plane is about 49 meters. The plane has 8 engines. These are mounted just below the wing in twin pods of 4. The plane's maximum speed is a whopping 960 km per hour. And that too at just some 100 feet above the ground. It becomes 600 km per hour. It originally carried 6 crew and had a gun turret in its tail. However, in the 1990s, the number of guns was reduced and the crew was reduced to just 5. The plane's airframe is so huge that it is also called Big Ugly Fat Fellow. Then at number 6 would be AC-130 Spectre or Spooky. These were used in the Vietnam War. The plane could have destroyed over 10,000 trucks. The plane could cannon fire the whole of a group of infantry or stranded pilots. The biggest thing was that the pilot used to be an empty complete 20mm or 40mm barrel, yet did not feel safe. This was because no matter how much they fired, the Vietnamese seemed to have more bullets, and their aim did not seem bad. After the war, the US Air Force upgraded the planes with better sensors and bigger weapons. They are now used as a support in special and conventional operations. They mainly operate in Afghanistan and Iraq. These aircraft are one of the longest-serving crafts of all time. Now we start our top 5 with Su-33 carrier-capable fighters. The fighter plane belongs to Russia, as might be understood from Su initials for the Soviet Union. So we can call it an upgraded version of Su-27. The Su-27 belongs to the Soviet period. This plane can fly more compared to its former model. The size of the plane was also increased. The plane is made too obviously as a carrier, but it can even fold its wing upwards, which facilitates storage for the aircraft carrier. It has 2 engines and they were quite heavily revised and tuned to make all the improvements possible over the Su-27. These tunings improve the landings of the carrier and then give a robust platform. The plane has some canard winglets that are mated to leading-edge root extensions. This gives the plane a movability that cannot be seen in carrier-based fighter planes. The one at number 4 is AH-64 Apache. This helicopter is the most terrifying and murderous out of all out there. The helicopter was first widely used in the Gulf War. it had fired the very first salvos of Desert Storm. The helicopter completely destroyed the tanks and infrastructure at its site. Terrified by this, the Iraqi soldiers had completely surrendered whenever they saw an Apache. The helicopter had governed the close combat attacks and the deep attacks. The helicopter alone was accountable for 71% of all the enemies killed in the Gulf War. We are now at our top 3, and the aircraft is... This plane was designed by Northrop Grumman and is called the B-2 Spirit Bomber. It has a very stealthy wing design. It has a weapon load carried internally and a bomb bay doors that are serrated. It has a serpentine engine air intake. This will hide the engine blade of the bomber from radar detections, so the plane cannot be detected easily, just like the F-22. The B-2 bomber is yet to lose a fight. The plane has many weapons in it that makes it quite dangerous. They have nuclear weapons in it as well. So, you know a plane is really dangerous if they just carry nuclear weapons around. The plane is absolutely amazing and really scares the enemy because of its stealth performance. The plane is absolutely amazing and really scares the enemies. Because of its stealth performance, this plane can just drop a nuclear weapon on our heads. Moving on to number 2 is German Fokker Eindecker. There were so many advancements in airplane technology in the early period after the first successful testing of the first flight ever that no plane could hold dominance over time. The Fokker broke this record and was the king of the skies for 8 months long. The plane was designed in such a way that the propeller and the machine gun of the plane were synchronized. Before this, the fighter planes had their machine gun on the sides of the plane, which led to gun not taking their propeller out or even the hole while firing. Fokker, on the other hand, fought through the propellers. This got the French and British really scared, as they were not used to a fighter plane fighting them head-on without making any further adjustments in positions to fight. At last, the number 1 most feared aircraft will be A6M-0. This Zero fighter class was manufactured by Mitsubishi. Japanese aviation dominated the aviation scene at the beginning of World War II. So this aircraft naturally had a lot of hype, but some historians believe it was even underrated. The developers with this craft wanted a movability like no others. They did not care about the speed of the craft, self-sealing gas tanks, or armor, just so that the craft could maneuver as much as possible. The plane could avoid hits like a pro. The problem was that they hadn't put any other features in the plane. If someone managed to hit the plane would not survive it. When the war had started, the initial terror and shock it had given the Allies helped Japan a lot, especially because it was playing on the offensive side. The pilots used their expertise and completely destroyed the Allied force at that time. So, which of these aircraft did you like the most? Is there anything you would like to add to their stories that we missed? Comment it all down below. If you like this video, then like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Bye-bye.